Have you seen countless ads for Outschool pop up on your Facebook feed and elsewhere? Are you curious about what Outschool is and whether it's a good fit for your family? In this video, I'll offer an overview of how Outschool works and what I like and don't like about it. My name is Janelle Durham, and I'll be giving you my perspective as a teacher and as a parent. Over the past year, I have taught 9 classes on Outschool, and my 10-year-old has taken 37 classes with 32 different teachers. I've also spent a lot of time reading Facebook groups for both parents and teachers to get a sense of what the common experiences are for both pros and cons about the program. So what is Outschool? In their own words, Outschool is a marketplace for live online classes for learners aged 3 to 18. Classes include interaction with real people, teachers and classmates, and video chats with messaging and group discussion. Classes are held on Zoom, a video teleconference site. You sign up online and now with a link. When the time comes for the class, you sign in and you join the teacher and other students on the call. They can all see and hear each other and talk in real time. Teachers can share videos, do demos, lead discussions, facilitate show and tell, and integrate interactive games. Some classes are more formal, following traditional classroom rules like raising hands. Others are a little bit more free-for-all. Who is Outschool for? Most of the original users were homeschooling families. Some were looking for academic classes to supplement what the parents were able to offer, and some were looking for opportunities for social interaction with other children so their child could build more friendships. Families whose children were enrolled in more traditional schools also found Outschool helpful for academic enrichment, either in areas where the school was weaker or for places where their child needed extra tutoring to build skills. Outschool grew tremendously during the coronavirus lockdowns as parents were seeking academic options, but also seeking ways that their kids could interact with other kids their age. And I can say that during coronavirus, with both my partner and I working from home and our child schooling from home, sometimes we had him take an Outschool class just to keep him occupied for 45 minutes while we could concentrate. We also, though, discovered that Outschool is great for kids with specific passions. If your kid wants to talk about Minecraft or Harry Potter or dragons for hours on end, on Outschool, they're going to find an enthusiastic teacher and other kids that are just as passionate about that topic as they are. What kind of classes are there on Outschool? Everything you can imagine. Outschool offers more than 100,000 classes to more than 900,000 learners in 174 countries worldwide. Some are pure academic subjects, a semester-long writing class, reading comprehension, math. Some are classes in art or music. Some are social clubs where kids draw comics, play video games, or talk about their fandoms. And many are a combination of the two, like a creative writing class with a Pokemon theme, or writing persuasive essays about how to free Hagrid from expulsion from Hogwarts, or math facts in a Mission Impossible escape room. In the best classes, teachers are able to combine teaching solid skills with something they're passionate about and that they can geek out with the kids about while they're teaching. Classes are offered in several formats. My son has typically done one-shots because he's also had full-time school. But they also have multi-day options, which could include a 5 days in a row summer camp, or an every Tuesday for fall quarter, or whatever. Ongoing meets at the same time every week, and you can join whenever you want and go for as many sessions as you want, and then drop out. Flex classes are a little different than all other Outschool classes because they are not live online meetings. Instead, they're pre-recorded videos and supplemental materials that you can access on your own schedule. Let's just take a quick look at Outschool to get a better sense of what's there.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through how you would start to find classes on Outschool. So if you go to outschool.com, then click up here on Find Classes. Now let's go ahead and just filter some things down just so you get a sense of just the sheer number of classes that are available to you on Outschool. So let's go ahead and filter by date and time. And let's say I want to find a class for tomorrow morning, which is Tuesday. And I'm specifically looking for one that is between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that. Next, I want to filter by date. And so I'm going to look at dates in the next 7 days. Let's apply that. And let's say I'm looking for a 6-year-old child. Okay. So let's just start there to get a broad picture of just how many classes might be available to you and what the range of those is. So you see I've come up with pre-K and kindergarten circle time. This is one that's an ongoing class that meets 5 days a week, and it's for 3 to 6-year-olds. And it's basically everything they would get in a pre-K or kindergarten circle time. Okay. But right next to it, then this is just a single time class for hands-on math of Montessori approach. The next one for something completely different is Little Ninjas, martial arts inspired ninja movement and play. This one is a multi-day class, so it meets once a week for 4 weeks. So for each of these, you'll be able to see what their age range is. If you have a 6-year-old, then a class for 4 to 7-year-olds might be perfect because they're kind of right in the middle of that age range. If it's for ages 6 to 9-year-olds, where there'd be the youngest child in the class, you really have to use your judgment of whether that's a good fit for your child. If this is a topic that's totally new to your child, they might not want to be the youngest one in the class. But if it's somewhere where they feel really confident, that might be a good match for them. On the other hand, this program is for 4 to 6-year-olds, where they'd be the oldest person in the class. Again, use your judgment about whether you think that's the right match for your child. Okay, so we have all these different types of classes. You can read the overviews here, and then you'll be able to click on them for more details. But in these overviews, you're going to be able to see the title of the class, a brief description, what the age recommendation is, whether it's a one-time, multi-day, ongoing, or whatever. And it's going to tell you when it next meets and how long it's scheduled for. Now, it could be that you find something there that you think, oh, story time and craft for my favorite princess, that would be perfect for my child, but not for tomorrow morning. Luckily, that same class is offered 7 other times. So you're going to have a lot of flexibility on when you do it. Or maybe I'm not even sure if I want to take this yet, but I think someday I might be interested in it. I can click on that heart and it will keep it in my list of favorites. All right. Now, it could be I'm looking at this and there are too many choices here. So I might start to narrow it down further. So I might choose to set a maximum price for what I'm looking for a class. Or I might choose to limit it by subject. For example, let's look at science and nature classes, since those are always my favorites, and apply that. I could also limit it if I was specifically looking for a one-time class or an ongoing or whatever. That would give me that option. This is also where I could choose to look only at flexible schedule classes. All right. So I can limit it down by looking at the filters there. I could also limit it to a very specific topic. So let's go ahead and just look at Pokemon. Oh, turns out that there's not any Pokemon classes tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., but I could find some at a different time if that's what I prefer. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Show me anyway, because I know I said I wanted a 9 a.m. class tomorrow, but I really just kind of want to see what Pokemon classes are available for my child that are science. So show me anyway. And you'll see then it comes up with a number of classes that are Pokemon themed and science themed that are for 6-year-olds. Okay, so we can do anything from a Pokemon STEM summer camp to Lego Pokemon in the 8-week version or the 4-session program, Pokemon Spy School, real life Pokemon, Pokemon Mystery in Outer Space, and so on. I'm going to go ahead and look at the details on that real life Pokemon, the fun educational way to learn science. Okay. When you go into a class listing here, you're going to see the overall reviews for the teachers, but we're also going to look more details on the teacher down below. Often there will be a video here from the teacher that tells you more about the program. You'll also see information about the format, how long it is, how often it meets, that age range. I also will tell you how many learners there are per class. I personally like to look for classes that have about 3 to 8 learners in them. I want my child to have enough other kids to interact with that it's fun, but also a small enough number that he gets a lot of turns and chances to participate. We can also look at what the pricing is. The recommendation from Outschool is to average about $12 per hour of class. And so you'll see this one at $8 for a 30-minute class is in about that range. You'll find that there's some that are cheaper than that. You'll find that there's some where the instructor has chosen to charge a lot more than that. The way pay works for the teachers, just so you know, is that teachers receive 70% of whatever is paid for the class, and the other 30% goes to Outschool to cover the overhead for the program. Okay, down below that basic overview, we're going to see the class description that has all more details about the program. Might have learning goals, teacher expertise, a supply list, which is always helpful to check. Sometimes for this class, it's just paper, crayons, and markers, but it can be a lot more sophisticated depending on the class. If we continue going on down, we're going to see, oh, it looks like this one, there's no open spots for this class. All this class might have been interesting for me. I'm going to back out of it now because I'm looking for something my child can actually enroll in. Okay, so let's look at instead at the Pokemon Mystery in Outer Space. Okay, this is a one-time class. So we already kind of reviewed what all these things are. Here you're going to see there is an available time for this class. So there's a class on Friday, July 30th. It's a one-time class in the morning. I can see there's 3 kids already enrolled, and it's a maximum of 11 learners. So there's definitely still space in this class, but there's at least enough kids enrolled that I figure it will run and my kid will have a good social experience there. You'll notice this is $13 for a 30-minute class, so it's a little bit pricier. So I might then scroll down to learn more about the teacher. Okay, so I could have read all of the description and information there as well. But let's say I'm just curious about the teacher at this point. I'm going to scroll down here and we're going to get kind of the brief bio for her, a little bit more details. There's also an intro video where I can learn a lot more about her. And then below her bio, I'm going to see the reviews. I personally don't worry so much about the stars. What I want to do is read the comments because I want to see kind of what do people think of this teacher. And I also have to know what kind of teacher does my kid like, because my kid might like a different kind of teacher than your kid likes. So reading the reviews is really what gives me a lot of information about the teacher. I think one of the very best ways to find out about a teacher is not just to read those reviews, but also if they have that video, go and watch that video because you can get the sense of what they're like.
Hello, Outschool families. My name is Miss Ina. I'm so excited to learn with you, just like I've learned with hundreds of other families on the wonderful Outschool platform.
Okay. So go through several different class descriptions, get to know several different teachers. You're going to find the ones that are the right match for your child. All right, so let's say we're done looking at Pokemon science. Let's see if we can find something about planets. There we go. So tomorrow morning between 9 and 10:30 in the morning, I can find several different classes about planets. So let's go ahead and look at this. Let's explore space. Okay. Again, you're going to see, here's the description for the class, the overview of it. Oh, there's several different times that are available. So actually, you could take this class Tuesday morning or at 9 or Tuesday morning at 11, Wednesday morning, all sorts of different times. One thing I want you to notice here is that all the times are given in your time zone. So this same class, if you happen to be on the East Coast, this same class would be listed as a 2 p.m. class for you, but it's 11 a.m. class here for me in Pacific time. Okay. So I encourage you to kind of poke around, find different classes that seem interesting to you. You can always save anything that feels like it's not a good match in the moment, but might be a good match for some time.
Some people use Outschool primarily as an academic resource. They may value the wide array of subjects that are covered. For example, a homeschooling parent might have a science background and appreciate the availability of arts instruction. Some parents also appreciate the way that academics can be taught in combination with an interest the child has. For example, a parent might be worried about their own math knowledge and then be able to find a great math teacher who's also a Disney fan who can engage their child around princess-focused interests while teaching those math skills. Classes are often taught by people with unique expertise in the field, such as NASA scientists or Broadway dancers, or people with access to unique resources like a pony to groom on screen. Some families like a very structured schedule and can choose semester-long classes on a standardized schedule. Others like the ability to pick and choose whatever one-time or short-term classes work for them. Many parents appreciate that their child can take classes with diverse students and teachers. For example, I've seen appreciative comments from Black parents who live in predominantly white areas that are very excited to have a Black teacher. And I've seen comments from white parents in Middle America who are excited that their child can take a class from an Asian American teacher with classmates of all backgrounds from all sorts of places. My son is enrolled in public school, which covers his academic needs, so we use Outschool for enrichment. He thinks that Outschool is fun. He loves the chance to take classes with teachers who have common interests, where together they can geek out about the things he loves. Since he's autistic, having the opportunity to practice social skills is especially important for him. We like that we can plan in advance. Sometimes I'll plan a week's worth of classes as a summer camp option for him. We also like that we can be spontaneous. Hey, there's no school on Tuesday. Do you want to play Among Us on Outschool? That means he has fun, and I get my normal Tuesday workload done. You can also find out classes on Outschool about almost any topic you want to learn about. And it's just frankly an engaging way to spend some time. Okay, let's talk about the possible pitfalls of Outschool. The first pitfall is that it's a marketplace. It's a huge online marketplace, just like Amazon or Etsy. They're trying to connect tens of thousands of sellers, those are the teachers, with hundreds of thousands of buyers, the students and parents. Outschool does make a good faith effort at quality control, but with so many offerings, it's hard to perfectly control them. So just like on Amazon, you can increase the chance of a good experience by carefully reading the product descriptions so you know exactly what you're buying, and by taking time to read the reviews. Don't just look at the star rating. Knowing the why people liked or didn't like something is a lot more informative than just the stars are. Try it out with a couple one-time or short-term classes with an instructor to make sure that they're a good fit for you before you commit to a long-term class with them. Now, some teachers are new to the system and have very few reviews. Don't let that scare you off. Try them for a one-time class and then give an honest review to let other parents know what you thought. So one of the cool things about Outschool is that teachers can teach whatever they're passionate about, even if they don't have credentials in that field. For example, I have a master's in social work. I can't teach in a public school, much less teach science there because I just don't have those credentials. But I'm actually really good at teaching science to 3 to 6-year-olds. And I can do that on Outschool. So you can find some great teachers who have a passion for subjects, and they might have a wide variety of backgrounds, some with advanced degrees and some not. Some with years of experience in a field, and some who were fresh but enthusiastic. My son took a fabulous Science Through Pokemon class, taught by someone who just completed their first semester of college and had just joined Outschool. However, from reading the Facebook discussions amongst Outschool teachers, I can tell you that there are some who will invent any class they think might sell well, and they scramble together just enough internet research to kind of fake their way through it. So sometimes you might wish for more credentials than are required. Also, the process to apply to be a teacher on Outschool is pretty simple. There's a background check, a brief application, and an introductory video. And many people get approved within a couple hours of applying. So there are lots of great teachers on Outschool, but there are also some duds. Now, we've not had a bad class experience yet, but we have had a couple that were lame. There was one that was mostly just someone showing YouTube videos of Disney rides with a little bit of trivia between them. There was another time we took a class with 18 kids where they basically split them into a bunch of breakout rooms, and the kids didn't really know what they were supposed to do, and the instructor would kind of pop in for a moment and then move on to another breakout room. So there were a couple lame ones, but all the other classes my son has taken have been good, and a few of them have been truly outstanding. There were a few that I just listened in and thought, wow, I wish all teachers were this amazing at engaging kids. Outschool's brand is interactive online classes. The majority of the classes my son took absolutely were, but he's also in the sweet spot for that at age 9 to 10. Some of the classes with the youngest learners aren't very interactive. The kids are on mute and the teacher just does a preschool story time performance. And some of the classes for older kids also aren't very interactive because teens often have their cameras off and their mics off for most of the class, and teachers might have a hard time getting them to speak up at all. So that might be fine for your kid, but it's worth thinking whether or not that meets your goals for the class. If you've done anything online ever, you know that sometimes, despite everyone's best intentions, something doesn't work. Maybe the internet is glitchy, or the power is out, or the video won't play, or you don't get the email reminder, or whatever. If it's your technology that fails, you can ask the instructor for a refund, but that's up to them. If the instructor's technology has minor problems, they'll apologize, give them some grace. If they have big problems, they might offer a refund, or Outschool does have a happiness guarantee, so you can ask Outschool for a refund. But yes, technology failures can be really frustrating for the parent and lead to a disappointed kid. To reduce the chance of technology problems, become familiar with Zoom before the class. Make sure your child knows how to do simple things like mute and unmute. I have a guide to using Zoom that you can check out. There'll be a link in the video description that will help get you started. So speaking of disappointed kids, sometimes classes get canceled. If they don't have enough enrollment or for any other reason, the instructor can choose to cancel up to 24 hours before the class begins. We haven't had it happen very often, but also my son really struggles when his plan schedule changes. So I tend to wait to tell him about an Outschool class until it's less than 24 hours away. So here's my summary about Outschool. Outschool is just an easy way to get your kid involved in a fun, interactive learning activity. It's reasonably low cost, and you can decide to do it even on short notice to just kind of jump in for something fun. It's not always perfect, but I figure it's still better than having my child sit on the couch watching YouTube videos. If you think you're interested in trying out Outschool, there is a coupon available for $20 off your first class. If you follow that link, which you'll also find in the video description, you'll be able to get that $20 off.